Hey, what's going on, guys? Fizz here. So this is going to be the pilot episode, if you will, for a new type of like video that I'm gonna be uploading. This is going to be a rip review of my first rip of 3.20. Normally when I die, we just upload like the 10-second, clip that includes the death, and then that's pretty much it. But some people said in the last video they expressed interest in actually having like rip clip breakdowns, maybe like have some insight about the game, learn some things maybe you didn't know, and see how I could have improved in the situation, how I could have not been in this situation, etc., etc. It should be a learning experience, and at the very least, if you already know everything we go over in a lot of these, then you get to laugh at me all the same. All right, so luckily the first episode here is going to be a very basic, very easy analysis, if you will. Very simple rip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it, and then you guys can try to guess what happens or whatnot, and then I will break down the mechanics and everything that led up to this moment, okay? I can't get fucking fortify on this guy, dude. Okay, trap him in between the rocks for metagaming. And it happened again. You guys saw it? We all saw it? Well, I guess we get to level Blade Flurry. All right. So that was the rip clip. So there's a lot that goes into this. In terms of the actual death, we'll go through that first. What killed me? Well, the dog that we're fighting here, right? He has his auto attacks where he'll just auto attack you with the knives, but he also has this move here, where if we play it real slow, he gets down and then he charges like this. This does a ton of damage, and it also bleeds. This ability will always bleed you. It puts a very strong bleed on you, which is obviously what killed me. I happened to be moving at the time that he did it. See, I was trying to walk out of the way, and then I got greedy for another flicker, and he totally wrecked me for it. So other things, you notice he's chunking me pretty hard. You'll see at the top here that I actually don't have fortify while fighting this boss. So this is a really cut and dry thing of like, I shouldn't have been in this situation. But there is a little bit of bad RNG in this. You'll notice what I'm saying at the very start is you see it happened again. My Vol Flicker bugged out 3 times on this boss. And I think it was because he was by the rocks. I'm not sure. I didn't test, like the character died obviously, so I didn't test how to recreate this or whatever, but it seemed to act up a lot more when used near walls and whatnot. But basically, you would use Vol Flicker, and then it would like hit like once or twice and then just cancel. And you can see like at the time, he's not even hitting me. It's not stun. I am not getting stunned. I think there's a decent amount of people who are on my videos for the flicker stuff saying I keep getting stunned out of the Vol Flicker. It may just be them encountering this bug. I don't know. You could be getting stunned. I got stunned like almost never playing this build. I could probably count the amount of times I got stunned on one hand during a Vol Flicker strike. So I don't really think that is the issue. It's just this bug with Vol Flicker like randomly canceling itself. That being said, there's a lot of things that went into this situation. First and foremost, why did he deal so much damage to me? We'll get that out of the way first. Okay. Well, first things first, I'm not getting fortify from this guy because apparently my build's not melee enough. And 2, this is a T14 Canyon on day 2, which my day 2 is probably most people's day 3 because I slept for like 16, 17 hours after my first stream for League launch. So I was pretty late. I mean, you can see here on the overall ranks, like when I slept, I was like rank 30 and rank 3 or 4 for the Ascendancy, and I like hadn't been streaming very long when I did this, so you can see like I fell a lot. Basically he throws on that really strong bleed, right? And this boss, the canyon boss, is actually 2 bosses. There's the chicken that fires caustic arrow at you and uses Vol Rain of Arrows, and then there's this guy, right? But there's a mechanic there. Whichever one you kill first, the remaining one will enrage. They'll get a lot stronger. So for this build specifically, I definitely should have killed the dog first and left the chicken because I had like 40 chaos res at this point, and Slayer Overleach, I'm not going to die to a dot. Now, Vol Rain of Arrows would have been really annoying, which is, I think, probably why I just killed the chicken first anyway, was because Vol Rain of Arrows cancels Flicker, like I couldn't move. Or at least it was stopping my Vol Flicker. So I was like, whatever, I'll just kill the chicken first. However, there were a lot of situations where, like, scenarios, I guess, where this didn't need to happen. Like, this is like a mixture of, like, me being greedy / desperate, and I'll cover why, mixed with, bad luck. It is a mixture of the two. Because I'm running this boss, I'm on a 5-link. I have a really, really bad weapon. Like a really bad weapon. There was 2 people in my chat actually that had better weapons than me that they got in Blood Aqueducts, and I'm, you know, level 90, 20 hours in, whatever, in high red maps, and I'm still using a really bad weapon. Like, I was having no luck, and with how brokenly overpowered essences are right now, it was really hard to like farm contempts. Anyway, so struggling a little bit on gear, and I had just dumped a bunch of Eldritch Ichors on my gloves, trying to get Impale Chance to go for the Rage Tech, which I ended up getting via Jewels anyway. So you'll notice I do have Rage here. I got it via Jewels, but my last Ichor that I threw on my gloves, they were level 2 Ichors, like the second tier of them. It had 30% Fizz to Fire conversion when near a unique enemy, which obviously on a full Impale build using Brutality, it means that I'm just losing 30% of my damage off the top. So I was very, very desperate to get rid of this because it was breaking my damage. Now, in this map, you'll notice that I'm blind right now. An Eldritch Altar appears, and it has enemies blind you, guaranteed to get 2 Ichors at the end of the map. So I took it. Mistake number 1, I guess. I was really desperate to get rid of this implicit on my gloves that was breaking my damage. In doing so, I'm already losing 30% of my damage off the top from my glove implicit, and then I take this blind. Now I'm getting blinded, which is making my accuracy go below my life value, which means I'm losing my 40% more multiplier to my damage from precise technique. Now that is turned off as well, which means I am losing so much damage out of the build. So that's why I'm like very ZDPS here. My damage is like super bricked, and I feel really desperate to try to get that implicit off my gloves. This is why I was forcing the situation so much. Because I had actually logged twice before this to refill my flash charges because my bleed removal is on my life flask, right? So that's why I was in this situation. Now, why is it bad luck? Well, in a lot of ways, my risk assessment was correct, because there were multiple times, 3 times total, and you see the last one in this clip, where I lined up everything, snapshotted my stuff, I killed some other mobs, got my rage up, ran up to him, used all my stuff, like threw the banner down, pop berserk, throw the totem down, use Vol Flicker, and then it would like just cancel as soon as I did it. Which means I should have like well overkilled this guy a million times over. And the fact that it kept bugging out made me more frustrated, and it's why I brute forced it. And in my mind, I was like, okay, if it takes a while, this is like a sketchy situation, but as long as I play fine, it'll be fine. Even if it takes me 5 minutes to kill this guy, it's still worth it. I'll be able to get rid of the implicit. That's why, that's why it's a mixture of bad luck and just being desperate and overreaching is what I would say. I tried too hard to, you know, rectify a previous, you know, I don't want to say mistake. It was just I had bad RNG on the Eldritch roll, but I was trying to rectify something else that had happened, and it's why I overstayed here. But the big takeaways from here, I had no Fortify. I had no Bleed Flask removal. Excuse me. And I did no damage for multiple reasons. And this guy was enraged because I killed the chicken boss first. Also, worth noting that I was running this map for Atlas completion, and it had more monster life as well. It had 30% more monster life and some other mods that I don't think are super important. But the 30% increased monster life with the me losing precise technique from blind, with me losing 30% of my damage from the glove implicit, meant like it was a struggle to kill these guys. But yeah, that's how the Flicker guy died. Now, would I play Flicker Strike again? Yeah, I absolutely would. Flicker was actually really fun. It's just, there were 3 big bugs with Flicker Strike. And if they fixed those bugs, then I 100% would play it again. Like, if those bugs didn't exist, I probably would have just re-rolled directly after this fight. Then again, if those bugs didn't exist, I would not have died. But that's beside the point. What are the 3 bugs, you might ask? Well, the first one has already been fixed now. It's where, supposedly, I don't know, I haven't tested it because my character's dead. But it was right after I died, they released a hotfix that stopped the crashing of map instances whenever you use Flicker. The 2 that are remaining are its targeting issues, where it basically is just worthless to use because it does all the wrong things in inconsistent ways, and it's just the only time it's worth using is if a monster is completely alone and there's nothing anywhere near it, which means like its range that it will flicker to is like 3 to 4 times bigger than base Flicker, and it has somehow worse logic than base Flicker, because base Flicker will at least follow your mouse. Ball Flicker doesn't. It's literally impossible to try to discern some type of method it has for targeting things, because even when there's more monsters it could chain to, it doesn't, but it won't stay on the monster you cast it on. It's just kind of a waste to use if there's multiple monsters, unless they're stacked right on top of each other. So what I think they need to do is make it just basically a single target ability, or if they want it to still, you know, retain the ability to jump around, the radius for it should be like 3 times smaller than base Flicker, instead of like 3 times bigger than base Flicker, or half the size of base Flicker. It needs to be smaller, not bigger. Flicker doesn't need help with clear. Vol Flicker doesn't help with clear at all. It doesn't deal more damage or anything like that, and the damage is delayed. So there's really, it's like, it's a hindrance if you were to use this for clear purposes. It's literally only meant for single target damage. It does that job very well if it actually hits the target, but because of that problem, it needs to be fixed. It absolutely needs to be fixed. It's like near unplayable for like general mapping, because of how far away it will jump. Like, this is the only monster on my screen. There could be a monster right up here that you don't even see. I pop Vol Flicker on this guy and I'll jump to that one monster, and then I'll use my next 24 hits on that white monster in the corner. It's absolutely awful. The very last bug is the one that you saw me talking about in the video. Sometimes it will just cancel itself. And you may say, well, you're blind here. What if you missed and that's why it canceled? Well, sure, maybe that's a thing. I didn't check my accuracy page here to see if I had a 100% chance to hit or not. I don't really know if it would cancel Vol Flicker if you missed. I think you would just not deal damage for that hit, and it would finish the cast anyway. I'm not sure on that, but either way, the rest of the time I have had a 100% chance to hit. I have not been stunned, and it still cancels itself all the time for no apparent reason. So it is absolutely bugged. It is absolutely a bug. But yeah, in closing, if they fix those 3 things, they're 1 out of 3 so far with the fixes. I would absolutely play this again. It was very fun. I can recommend it. And yeah, I don't really have anything bad to say about it at all. It was actually a super big blast to play. If you go back and you look at my VODs from early on, right when I get Vol Flicker, I was on cloud 9, man. I was having so much fun running up to a monster with Impaler, hitting it and just one-tapping it instantly. And the Vol Flicker just by itself was like one-shotting everything until like high yellow maps. So I didn't even need the Impaler tech in terms of like single target damage until like I was entering reds, because they would just die to normal Vol Flicker Strike. So yeah, it was super fun. I had a blast with it. Unique play style. I guess I don't really have anything else to say further. Build was super fun to play. Unfortunate rip. Pretty easy rip clip to review. You guys let me know if you like this or what suggestions you have, etc. For the next one. We'll see how this does, and if it does well, then we'll do more. So I think that's everything. If you guys liked the video, be sure to leave me a thumbs up. If you didn't, feel free to leave me a thumbs down. Tell me what you think I can do better. If you like the content on the channel, make sure you subscribe to be notified anytime I release new videos. And to find me on other platforms, I offer build help and general PoE talking and community and all that normal stuff that you find in Discord. In my Discord channel, you'll find the link down below. I stream daily on Twitch TV. You'll find that link down below as well. And finally, feel free to follow me on Twitter if you're on Twitter, because I am on Twitter as well. And I think that is everything. I'm going to end it here. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.